This conference will now be recorded.
So good morning, students.
Good morning,
It has
sir.
been a long time that I have taken a class for you. Pawan Kalyan is there?
Yes, sir.
Hello, Pawan Kalyan.
Yes, sir.
Harika, Ayesha,
Yes, sir.
Lakshmi Priya. Lakshmi Priya just now come. Santoshini. Okay, actually in the previous two classes, actually this was displayed ARDS, but actually I want to just tell about for about 20 to 30 minutes because this is a very important topic, ARDS. Because the next topic I want to take is interstitial lung disease. Interstitial lung disease. So the pathophysiology actually you must understand. The pathophysiology actually you must understand why I have chosen to repeat ARDS because of the pathophysiology. The pathophysiology is in ARDS. The problem is with the alveoli lining and endothelial lining of the capillaries that are present surrounding the alveoli. And interstitial lung disease, actually, which I am going to tell in the next class, is actually the disease will be in interstitium. Interstitium means there is a gap. The gap is actually not a gap. The gap is there between alveolar sacs and capillaries. In between the alveolar sacs and capillaries, there is a gap. There actually is not a potential gap, but there is what is known as interstitium of the lung. Interstitium of the lung actually, which supports the lungs, which supports the lungs, alveolar sacs and other things, capillaries, which supports. So there actually the disease occurs there. The lungs actually previously we are knowing about 3-4 things about when we were students only there are only 3-4 topics were there like bronchial asthma, COPD, pulmonary tuberculosis like that, pneumothorax. But of late in the last about 20 years there is a tremendous development in pulmonology. There is tremendous development in pulmonology. So many diseases are occurred. So many diseases are occurred. Previously, I told you many times, all that infiltrates are not due to pulmonary tuberculosis because whenever their infiltrates are there, I told you many times, it's not due to pulmonary tuberculosis. It may be due to so many things like pneumoconiosis, histiocytosis, aspergillosis, like so many things. So many things actually may cause infiltrates. So it's not just a pulmonary tuberculosis, and you cannot just start treatment with ATT because they gave ATT many times about 20 years back, 25 years back. Many times they failed in curing the disease, and many people actually were lost. They were lost about 25. Of late, then the pulmonology has developed leaps and bounds. So many diseases have come, pneumoconiosis and all those things. And then we are able to treat many diseases. We are able to treat many diseases, cure or all stop. So just like that, this interstitial disease is one of the latest additions to the pulmonology. Interstitial disease is very, very important. Acute interstitial pneumonia, that fibrosis, so many things. So many things are there. So just like that, ARDS also is there. ARDS, of course, is an acute condition. The onset is very acute there, but the pathology is actually, you must know, this actually the alveoli. The The damage occurs throughout the lungs, The pulmonary capillaries and the alveoli are damaged throughout the lung. That is the main pathology behind the ARDS. Of course, interstitial disease, which I am going to tell, of course, interstitial is affected there. So what is actually ARDS? This is very important, you must know. Of course, here so many causes are there. Diagnostic criteria, how is differential pulmonary edema? So what is ARDS? ARDS is actually non-cardiogenic pulmonary edema. Non-cardiogenic pulmonary edema, NCP. NCP is actually the problem is not in the heart. Of course, pulmonary edema occurs. The pathology is there. I told you that because of the capillary damage, because of the alveolar capillaries, epithelium of the alveoli is damaged, capillary endothelium is damaged. Because of the inflammation, so the X-ray enters into the alveolar sacs. X-ray enters into capillary leak will be there. And the X-ray enters into the alveolar sacs, causing hypoxemia. Because of the alveoli are closed or the obstruction is there because of the X-ray and whatever it is. And the patient will present the oxygen gas exchange will not be proper. The patient presents with the severe dyspnea, cyanosis, tachypnea, like that. So, but it is not due to the heart. Heart actually, what actually in heart problem? That is the left ventricular failure, mitral, all those things. The pulmonary edema occurs. Pulmonary edema occurs because of the left heart failure. So left atrial hypertension, left atrial pressure also will increase, and there is a back pressure, and there the fluid enters into the alveoli. Fluid enters first into the interstitium, then alveoli. That is the pulmonary edema there because of the heart. And the left atrial pressure will increase. The pulmonary capillary wedge pressure will also increase more than 18 millimeters of mercury. But here in ARDS, the heart is more or less normal. Left atrial pressure is normal, and left atrial wedge pressure is less than 18 millimeters of mercury. So the heart is not blamed here, but that's why it is known as non-cardiac pulmonary edema, NCP. So pulmonary edema will occur. Not due to the heart problem, but because due to the damage, extensive damage of the alveolar sacs and the capillaries. So diagnostic criteria, acute lung disease. Previously it was known as acute lung injury. Of course, acute respiratory distress, previously it was known as adult respiratory distress. At one time, actually, it was known as adult respiratory distress syndrome. But later on, they found that infants are also suffering from the same problem. That is, infant respiratory syndrome. Just like adult respiratory distress syndrome, there used to be infant respiratory distress. So then they said that then we'll combine together. I think the Berlin guidelines are like that. Actually, they combined both the American European Conscious Conference, then like Berlin. Then they thought then they combined both adult respiratory distress and infant respiratory distress into one. That is acute respiratory distress syndrome. And what is more important is, of course, it may be due to many causes. The insults, lung is the ultimate insult because of so many causes. Like sepsis. Of course, I will come to the causes. So lung is the ultimate organ that is getting failed. So that is sepsis or whatever it is. So what are the diagnostic criteria? Diagnostic criteria is acute onset. Acute onset maybe it may occur within 2 hours or within few hours, less than 2 hours, 2 to about 5-6 hours, or it may take 1 to 3 days. But all these things will occur within a week. That is acute onset. All these problems will occur just just within a week. The acute onset, what is more important is this PaO2 and FiO2 ratio. This you must know. What is PaO2? What is FiO2? PaO2 is, what is PaO2?
Partial pressure of
The
oxygen
partial
artery.
pressure of oxygen. Partial pressure of oxygen in the arterial blood. Arterial blood, that is PaO2. It may range from anywhere from 80 to 100. Anywhere 80 to 180 millimeters of mercury. And PaO2 by FiO2. FiO2 is actually what you actually inspire. Fractional inspired concentration of air. What you inspire in the room, that is the room air. That if it is less than 300 milligrams the millimeters of mercury, then it is acute lung injury. If diagnosed acute respiratory distress less than 200 millimeters of mercury, regardless of peak level is, suppose. What is PaO2? If you take PaO2 about 90, you take PaO2 about 90, what is the fractional concentration of the air in the room? That is the 21%. In the air, what if you take 100%, then 21% will be just only oxygen. The rest is only nitrogen. Put 78% will be only nitrogen, 21% will be oxygen, therefore 1% will be the so many other gases like carbon dioxide, argon, like that. So the fractional inspired concentration is 21%, means just is only 0.21%. 0.21%. 0.21% of 1. So it makes 121%. But if you take 1, it is only 0.21%. So 90 by 0.21, it will come to normal. It is more than 300 millimeters of mercury. That is normal. So when it is less, that is the oxygen concentration, arterial blood, if it is less than 80, that if it is 60, then PaO2, if FiO2, if it is 0.21, how it will come? It will less than 300. So it is like acute lung injury. So patient will develop hypoxemia, of course. The exudate and will enter into the alveoli and cause actually bilateral infiltrates in the X-ray. Of course, capillary pressure is less than 18 millimeters of mercury. But here, if it is less than 200, so further it falls. The PaO2 will fall more. It may be only 40. If it is 40, then if 40 by 0.21, it is less than 200. Less than 200. Then it is acute ARDS. ARDS, regardless, of course, PEEP, of course, that's the thing. We will come later on. Next, if we get time, then we'll discuss about pulmonary function test, ventilator setup. So the PaO2 is the partial pressure of oxygen in the arterial bed is by fractional inspired concentration of the air, FiO2. FiO2, that is standard, that is 0.21%. Normal air, if you are respiring normal air, it is 0.21%. If you add oxygen, suppose if you know in this COVID times, if you add oxygen 1 liter, suppose 1 liter of oxygen we added, giving, it will increase about 4%. So 0.21 will become 0.24, like that. If you add 2 liters, it will become like 0.24, 0.21 becomes 0.27, 0.28, like that. So with each 1 liter or 2 liters, they will increase out 4 to 6%. So if you are giving 10 liters of oxygen, 10 liters of oxygen, you suppose, so it will come to roughly around 0.40, like that, 0.40, 0.50, like that. So with each adding 1 liter, 2 liter, 3 liters, actually oxygen through nasal cannula or face mask means that the fractional inspired oxygen concentration will increase. It will increase from 0.21 to 0.214, 0.24, 0.26, 0.30, like that. It will increase. So that is the diagnostic criteria. So within 1 week, acute respiratory distress means within 1 week. Most probably it occurs to be within just few hours. Within just few hours. Sometimes it may take only just 2 hours. Like in case of near drowning, in case of burns, in case of pancreatitis, in case of pneumonia, in case of course, sepsis due to various causes. And then sometimes the triggering point is just within 2 hours or within 3-4 hours like that. Or it may take just 1 to 3 days, or it will all the things will take within 1 week. So of course, chest imaging where it obesis will be there. Origin of edema is not due to cardiac failure. Oxygenation, mild, moderate, of course, this thing. Why this PEEP occurs? Because of the, what is the pathophysiology? The pathophysiology is because of the damage to the alveolar lining. Because of the damage to the alveolar lining, what happens? There will be collapse of the alveoli. Surfactant will be damaged. So collapse of the alveoli will occur. So the PEEP is one mode of ventilation where there will be fresh recruitment of the alveoli. The alveoli will get recruited back again. A fresh recruit because of the alveolar collapse, then you cannot actually that ventilatory mismatch will occur. VQ mismatch will occur. Oxygenation will not occur properly because of the damage to the alveoli. Even if you give more oxygen, even if you give 10 liters of oxygen, because of the damage, because of the ARDS, because of the damage and reflex to the alveoli, it will not improve. The oxygenation will not improve just by giving oxygen is not useful. Will not be useful. So that is the thing. So there, because you have to use the PEEP. So the damage or the collapsed alveoli should be again recruitment. That is not recruitment again because of the PEEP. So that's why, of course, the 5 centimeters of distilled water the PEEP there. Of course, cardiac and pulmonary edema. Fluid is X-rate, ARDS, trans rate, protein edema, plus low protein like that. CT ratio normal, CP angle normal. Here increased. In cardiac, then cardiothoracic ratio is increased. Cardiomegaly will be there. But here, heart is more or less normal. This is ARDS and pulmonary edema. Diffuse. More or less normal. Here, this heart cardiomegaly is there. Here, both diffusion, cardiac failure, effusion will be there. Pleural effusion will be there. The cardiophrenic angles, costophrenic angle will be obliterated. But here, this is free. Here, of course, there hilar region more edema will be there. Of course, you know many names, Nashing appearance, all those things will be there. Cardiomegaly, pleural effusion, no pleural effusion. Cardiac shadow is more or less normal. Of course, the causes are there like pneumonia, aspiration of gastric contents, near drowning, contusion, that is that injury to chest, more road traffic accidents, head injuries, pulmonary contusions, toxic gas inhalations. They are all causes. Indirect injury, sepsis, severe trauma, multiple bone fractures may be there. Just head trauma, head injury is also very important. Multiple transfish, trally is there, trally. transfusion associated with injury. Then drug overdose like methadone, pethidine, actually, and some people are in the habit of taking these drugs like methadone, IV methadone, like that. So they get this ARDS. Pancreatitis very common. Very common cause of ARDS. Of course, they are all causes. Of course, clinical course is expirative phase, proliferative phase, recovery phase. Pathology is because of the damage to the pneumocytes, capillary endothelial vessels, they cause indicated the gap junction, edema rich in protein. And formation of hyaline membrane within the alveoli. Hypoxia, vasoconstriction. This is there. Damage, of course, is there. This is alveolus. This is capillaries, capillary endothelium. Alveoepithelium. Hyaline membrane formation will occur and hypoxia will occur. Gaseous exchange will not occur because of this. Of course, so many lipoproteins, oxygen proteases are released. Neutrophils. Here, the fluid will enter into the cap because of the capillary permeability. The protein-rich fluid will enter into the alveoli. Predominant involved dependent portion of the lung, of course, the basis. Collapse of the last segment depending on the area, important. To the aerator hypoxia. What is the DD? DD is cardiogenic pulmonary edema. Pneumonias, hemorrhages, interstitial pneumonitis, hyperstitial pneumonitis, radiation. Proliferative phase, that is, this is second phase. Many patients with ARDS recover lung function 3 to 4 weeks. Initial pulmonary, it may take more than 4 weeks. This is alveolar edema converts into extensive interstitial fibrosis. Increased risk of developing pneumothorax. What are the investigations? Investigations, ABG, treatment of ARDS. So what is more important is the pathology. The pathology is because of the extensive damage of the both lungs and extensive damage to the alveoli and capillaries. There is protein-rich fluid, X-ray dentist, alveoli, causing actually a blockage of the alveoli. Blockage of the alveoli and surfactant loss, hyaline membrane formation, and actually collapse of the alveoli. Even if you want to give oxygen, 2 liters, 4 liters, 5 liters, 6 liters, it won't help because the alveoli are collapsed. Alveoli are collapsed. So what is more important? PEEP actually you have to use. That is one mode. Ventilated there. Recruitment of the new alveoli will occur. It recruits. The damaged alveoli may become active like that. So what is more important is treatment is, what is you don't have to give more because alveoli or damage of the alveoli is there. Low tidal volume, you need not give about that is more than about 8 to 10 ml, about 600 ml tidal volume need not give. You can give about 300 like that. About 5 to 6 ml per kg body weight you can give. Low tidal volume, low pressure. So that is important. So it will minimize the ventilator-induced lung injury. So just by giving more, the collapse alveoli actually rupture, damage, of course. Pneumothorax is one complication. So you have to use low tidal volume and low pressures. Minimize atelectasis trauma by preventing alveolar collapse. prone ventilation is very important. Prone ventilation because most of the lungs will be in the posterior aspect. So if you put the patient in the prone position, more lungs will get ventilated. ECMO, of course, you know what you had ECMO very recently. It is extracorporeal membrane oxygen means is artificial lungs. Of course, fluid management is very important. Neuromuscular blockade also they will give, trachurium they will give. So what is more important is minimum ventilator associated lung injury is volume trauma. By preventing over distension of alveolar by excess tidal volume, if you give more tidal volume that about 10 ml or 20, 12 ml per kg body weight, more air will enter. Then that will cause actually more distension of the alveoli and damage will occur. So what is more important is low tidal volume is recommended. That is about 6 liters per kg body weight. Predicted body weight. The 6 ml. Actually, the 6 ml, 6 ml into that 60 into 6. So roughly about 350 ml. Otherwise, tidal volume is roughly about 500, 600 ml. So half of the tidal volume you will give. So that is atelectatic trauma by prevent repeated alveolar collapse by setting adequate PEEP. So to prevent collapse of the alveoli at the end of expiration. So at the end of expiration actually because of the surfactant loss and because so the alveoli collapse. The alveoli usually collapse. But in our normal individuals actually alveoli cannot collapse because of surfactant. Because of the anti-proteases. So because PEEP will occur to prevent collapse of the alveoli at the end of expiration. To minimize FiO2, maintain adequate PO. Why prone ventilation? Severe ER. The prone ventilation has shown to benefit improve arterial oxygenation and has mortality benefit. But this is hazardous procedure requires critical care team to continue on. There is high risk of extubation, misplacement of central venous lines on orthopedic. ECMO, you know all know very well, shown to have mortality benefit in pain severe ARIA. This is done in very few centers. Artificial heart-lung machine, which allows gas exchange outside the body. Technology derived from cardiopulmonary bypass. The fluids is also very important. Cautiously given ARDS patients to maintain low left atrial filling pressures, preventing pulmonary edema. So if we keep the left atrial pressure low, then actually it will prevent pulmonary edema. This helps in maintaining arterial oxygenation, prevent reduction. This will shorten the duration of ICU and duration of mechanical ventilation. So neuromuscular, why neuromuscular blockade is given? Sedation alone may be inadequate for ventilator synchrony. So in early admission of neuromuscular blocking agent like atracurium or cis-atracurium for 48 hours is shown normally result by increasing the survival without increasing the ICU. So here can be recommended in patients who need mechanical ventilation, severe hearing. Patients when they need mechanical ventilation, if we give atracurium, of course, the patient will become actually paralyzed. Of course, because of the mechanical ventilation is oxygenation is done. So the work of breathing will be very, very less. So that's all for today. Next class, I will take up this interstitial lung disease. Thank you all. Thank you very much for patient hearing. అంతే చెప్పాం హాఫ్ అన్ అవర్ చెప్పాం 40 minutes.